What is happening, guys? Mathematics is back again. You know what we are, so let's get into it. So, guys, it's been a very tough time over the past few weeks. I've had to have some time out from YouTube because had a bereavement in the family. And it's just one of those situations that extremely close to me. Obviously, I'm sure anyone can appreciate in the circumstances of everything going on. It's a very tough time. Just bear with me, guys. I'm trying my best, but at the same time, I thought it's good to get a video out because a lot of you guys are still asking for the videos. A lot of you guys are still asking for my reviews on the fragrances, so I do appreciate it. But I'm just taking it easy now, guys. So bear with me, as I say, in respect to the videos. However, at a particular point now, I decided that I'm going to do a video. It's been a few weeks now. It's not an easy situation, but nonetheless, I'm putting a video out, guys, again, just to know that I'm still here. I'm not forgotten about you, but at the same time, sometimes life has to come first. And this is a hobby. And as you can see, guys, for what I do, the YouTube is a hobby. It's not something I'm trying to necessarily compete with anybody else. So I do appreciate the comments, likes, and subscriptions. If you do like the videos, and again, it saves you sometimes some money, please do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And let's get into it in respect of this particular video. So, guys, purchase this one, as you can see, Mancera Instant Crush. Now, again, the price range of this one can be a little bit expensive, but at the same time, it's giving you, it's like a top end of maybe a designer type of price point. And again, this is 120 mil. This one actually costs £120 in the UK, give or take, from Selfridges. But at the same time, I think it's a 60 mils, about £75 or so. So it just turns out in the end, the way it worked out, I just decided I'm just going to pay for it because I like this fragrance. Now, again, this is the box that it comes in, guys, 120 ml box. For those that do know, I did smell this one as well. And now, obviously, this isn't particularly the bottle, but this is Baccarat Rouge 540. And again, this is an inspired version, is what I'm being told. And I did obviously pick up on that. I picked up on the nuances in respect of the Baccarat Rouge, which in my opinion is one of those fragrances that I've sprayed, I've smelt it, I like it. It gives me this sort of almond, vanilla type of creamy type of vibe. Some people say you get this sort of like, how could I say, not necessarily alcoholic, but maybe sort of this sort of chlorine vibe, which I don't personally pick up on. But at the same time, I think for the price point, £200 for a 70 ml bottle was a little bit too much for me. Mancera slightly more in my price range, and it was costing, as I say, 120 ml bottle. Again, you can see the packaging, 120 ml bottle costing £120. So it's not the cheapest of fragrances, and don't get me wrong, designer fragrances, this isn't a designer fragrance. It's probably like, I would say probably more niche, and it's getting into it again in respect of what the cost can be, but still slightly more reasonable price compared to the Baccarat Rouge type of fragrance. This seems very bright. Let's go there. So, guys, as you can see, this is Instant Crush. You can see even it seems to like hold on to the fingerprints, which isn't a good thing. But the vibe of the bottle, as you can see, it is a unisex fragrance. It's an eau de parfum. And again, this concentration to me, guys, is quality. I've worn this today for the very first time. You do not even need a lot of juice. I mean, as I say, I've opened it, hardly sprayed anything. And ultimately, guys, I was getting compliments from day one. So that's one of those fragrances, guys, which says it all. Now, if you've not smelled this before, I would say get your nose on it if you can. But at the same time, if you smell Baccarat Rouge, you're going to get probably that type of vibe, but it's slightly different. Baccarat Rouge seems to be slightly more of, in my opinion, slightly more of a unisex fragrance. This also is unisex. I could easily imagine a lady wearing it. It's a very nice, sweet, pleasant fragrance, but at the same time, it seems to be slightly, not quite heavier, but it's slightly more, seems to be the base note slightly different compared to Baccarat Rouge. So you do get this sort of, again, this sweetness with the opening. The opening, again, I'm just going to go off of what I can see on there. But for me, guys, this is a quality fragrance. It's not one to be scoffed at. And again, it'll last you such a long time. You only need literally one spray, and that's more than enough. It's one of those fragrances, guys, with like Baccarat Rouge, you get these whiffs of this type of almond, type of vanilla, type of vibe going on. And again, it's lasted me all day. I've only sprayed it in the morning, and it's lasted me the whole day. The opening is not necessarily alcoholic, slightly harsh, but not as harsh as a, how could I say, when it comes to fragrances that are cheaper, you can smell that in the actual alcohol that's been coming out of it. This one, however, for me, the alcohol is there, but the alcohol then starts to dry down into this type of, if you imagine like a saffron sort of note. So just looking at the note breakdown on fragrance. You get this spice, and talking about spice oriental sort of vibe that you're getting. And it's got ginger, it's got some cardamom, not cardamom, sorry, bergamot, and it's also got some mandarin in the top notes. Then in the mids, it's got some amberwood, we've got some rose in there, which I don't particularly pick up on. But again, you never know. It's one of those fragrances that, in my opinion, some people say it's linear, but I think it still continues to develop. You get this patchouli in there, again, it's giving this sort of like earthy note in there, and you get some jasmine as well with the floral notes. Then in the base, you get this vanilla note, and again, we get some musk, we get some oak moss, and then we get this sort of sandalwood. For me, I'm even going to say there's probably like a cinnamon note in there. Cinnamon, saffron. It smells a little bit like an oriental fragrance, but a good quality one. And again, when basically, so I was with Agnieszka. You can see her in the videos as well, and I've done in previous videos. Agnieszka was walking around, just having a walk. Again, good friend. She gives me the good opinions on the fragrances. And at first she was saying, I don't like this fragrance. I can't smell it. This is when I was just sat down. My skin was cold, and I'd already sprayed this maybe 3 or 4 hours later. Once we started walking around the park, heat of the body starts giving off this scent trail, getting this bubble, guys. And straight away she's like, wow, that is a hell of a fragrance. That's a really nice fragrance. To me, guys, this fragrance represents quality. It represents, it smells like, to me, it smells like money. That's the only way I can describe it. It smells like money. This is a fragrance which, if you know you spray, if you don't necessarily have to know how much the fragrance is, but you can smell it and you know that you're getting something of value. Creaminess, saffron, this, as I say, this type of spice. We're getting this vanilla. And yeah, you get that almond vibe from Baccarat Rouge. It doesn't smell the same, don't get me wrong. And I think there aren't necessarily even, I wouldn't want to say the two distinct necessarily, but at the same time, there are distinctions between the two. I think for me, in my opinion, this is just a well-balanced fragrance. You do get, as I say, slightly more of this sort of, maybe like an earthy vibe going on as well. But at the same time, when you're moving around, you get this bubble, guys, you get this scent trail, and you get this almond vibe, this almond vanilla vibe that you get. Very gourmand in this type of fragrance. Definitely a banger. It lasts all day. You don't necessarily have to spray a lot. At the most, maybe you might reapply. If you're wearing it in the daytime, you're going to wear it in the evening. Maybe reapply it, but you really do not need to go heavy on the trigger. This one's going to last me for ages. I could see this lasting me for years because it's one of those fragrances which, again, the concentration of the parfum concentration is well balanced. It's fantastic. You don't really need to go crazy on the trigger. It's going to last you a long time. It's a lot of money, I guess, to some extent, if we're £120 for fragrance. So you'd have to make that decision, guys, for yourself. Do you value, these type of fragrances enough? For me, in my opinion, though, guys, very good unisex fragrance. Men and women could wear it. I'm going to say that this one's slightly more along the sort of males type of fragrance. But the sillage, in my opinion, guys, it does get somewhat linear once it gets to the dry down. But you're still getting, how could I say? You're still getting these type of whiffs of that type of Baccarat Rouge sort of scent going on, but you're also getting a spicy note as well that doesn't seem to die down. And I remember I can even smell whiffs of it myself throughout the day, easily. You're talking about nearly 7-8 hours quite easily on skin. Don't need to necessarily reapply, but if you want to, just to freshen up, if you've been wearing it all day, you can do so, guys. And the scent trail is gourmand, fresh, spicy, and again, you do get this type of, I say, you get this vanilla almond sort of vibe going on. I think for the summertime, it might be a little bit too heavy if you're going to wear it in a high heat. So maybe that's when I would probably say go with the Baccarat Rouge sort of fragrance. For me, this is probably even heavier than Baccarat Rouge. Baccarat Rouge seems to linger there, and you keep getting these whiffs as well, but it doesn't seem to be as heavy as this one. And I think the base notes are slightly different. But in all though, guys, if we were talking about from 1 to 5, I would easily give this one 4.5. For me, I don't necessarily know what they could change, because obviously if you want Baccarat Rouge and you don't want to spend so much, this is the one, in my opinion. Fantastic fragrance, guys. Mancera, for everyone who knows, you do get your money's worth, in my opinion. And again, this will last a long time if you're into fragrances. So by all means, guys, I would recommend go and check this one out. I actually have a Baccarat Rouge, not necessarily a clone, but people who do these sort of like basically sort of cheaper versions of imitations of it due to arrive, which I actually smelled the other day and was recommended by a friend on eBay. So I will do a video on that one very shortly. But by all means, guys, I mean, go and check this one out if you want to treat yourself. There are loads of fragrances out there, guys, and again, I recently purchased some other fragrances I've not had for some time. So Dior Sauvage, managed to get this one on sale. Got this one on sale for about £40 actually from Boots, funny enough, and it was only a 60ml as well. So it's not a bad fragrance at all, but at the same time, there's a difference in quality. You know when you're getting niche and you know when you're getting designer, and it's just no different from wines, guys. To me, this is art in a bottle. This represents a a point in time. This is art. This is an expression, and this is saying something about me, my personality, and what I want to express on that day, guys. So by all means, guys, for those that know me, if you like my recommendations, I would recommend getting a bottle of this one. At least try and get a 60 ml bottle if you can, a little bit cheaper on your pocket. Again, if you can afford to get 120 ml, entirely up to yourself though, guys. But it's not for everyone, but I think a lot of people will like this fragrance, and it's a crowd pleaser all day long. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Ciao.